If you're still single in your 20s, your friends might be the problem, and here's why. These friends might do things like telling you that you need to break up with your partner instead of working out your issues. They might glorify worldly things like telling you to go out and sleep around and have fun, or they just might be overly critical of your partner. A lot of times these type of friends are miserable and they want you to be miserable with them, so they'll tell you things that will get you to break up with your partner. And it's really, really important that you sort of push these friends away. So I've talked to a lot of men and they tell me that a woman's reputation is very, very important. I read an important quote that said, "You are the sum of the 3 people that you hang around the most. So what are your friends saying about you?" Also, if you're hanging around people that are partying and drinking and smoking, even if you are not partaking in that behavior, people are going to look at you and they're not going to see you as any different. I talked about this in my other video called The Truth About Friendship in Your 20s, and I think it's so important that we pay attention to this. The next reason that your friends are keeping you single is if you're always hanging around a group of people. So I have this rule, and it's that if you are hanging around a group of people and you go to approach someone, there is a 3 times more chance that you're going to become the subject of that conversation. And I know this because I've been in groups before, and when somebody comes up and approaches us, we always have a chat about it afterwards. And so most guys, they know that this is the case as well. And so if you are in groups of friends all the time, most of the time they're not going to approach you unless they're also friends with a group of people that you're with. And so one thing you can do, especially if you want to get approached by more guys, is to spend some time by yourself. If you sit with your same group in church or in the cafeteria or in the library, try sitting alone sometimes and looking available. You never know what's going to happen. A lot of guys are territorial, and so when they see that you're like hanging out with a lot of other men, sometimes they automatically assume that you're dating or that you're interested in one of the men that you're friends with. And this doesn't mean that you can't be friends with any men, obviously, but it does mean that you might have to be careful about the vision that you're portraying to other people. So gossiping is actually really hurtful. Every man that I've talked to said that gossiping was an extremely unattractive thing that would have turned them away from somebody that they were trying to date. Also remember that if somebody is talking about like other people a lot in front of you, then they're probably also talking about you behind your back. As Christians, we are held to a higher standard when it comes to gossip. Ephesians 4:29 says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who are listening." So I just want to ask you, what are you talking about? Now we're going to get to the last tip, but if you made it to this point in the video, make sure you stop and give this video a like. The like tells the algorithm that you like this video so they can recommend it to more people. And the last way your friends are keeping you single is that they have a all men are bad attitude. So this one is really important because I think that a lot of us are a little bit blindsided to this. But if you hang around girls who are outward about how much they dislike men and how no good men exist anymore, then there's a chance that those conversations are overheard by some of the men that you might be interested in. And they might start thinking, oh, you know, she hangs around this group of people, and because of that she probably has the same idea about men, even if you don't have that idea. What they say about birds of a feather flocking together is really true. Like if you don't want to be a part of a certain group's image, you really have to take a step back and evaluate, and also make sure that you're not spending too much time with that group of people. These are only a few ways that your friends are keeping you single. If you found this video interesting, comment down below if you would like to see a part 2, and I'll make a part 2. Now, let's get on to the moment of inspiration. Jesus is the best friend that we can have. I think that so often we kind of forget that in this lifetime, a lot of the friends that we make and have are going to last for seasons. So they're going to come and they're going to go. This was one of the major things I discussed in my video about friendship in your 20s. But the thing about Jesus is that he is never going to leave us or never going to forsake us. Romans 8:34 says, "Who then is the one who condemns? condemns no one. Jesus Christ, who died, more than that, who was raised to life, is at the right hand of God and is also interceding for us. Interceding means that when we can't speak and we can't say how we're feeling, or even when we're crying, Jesus is the one translating how we're feeling to God so that he hears us. So even when you don't have a friend, or maybe when you feel like your friends are not adequate, know that you have Jesus. And I kind of wanted to finish this off with a song that got stuck in my head as I was thinking about this video. And it is the song Count on Me by Bruno Mars. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. So I'm going to read some of the lyrics. It starts by saying, if you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. We find out what we're made of when we're called to help our friends in need. I love this because most of us won't find ourselves stuck in the middle of the sea, but there will be times where we find ourselves in really tough situations, whether it be somebody that we love that passes away, or whether it means having to move across the country. And just knowing that you have a friend that will go out of their way to help you is such a blessing. And then it says, you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I love this too because if you think about numbers, they're the same no matter what. It will always be 1 and then 2 and then 3 into infinity. And so what Bruno Mars is obviously saying here is that no matter what happens in life, you know, everything else can change, but I'll be that constant. So I hope that both of these give you kind of an idea of the type of friend you want. And I want to challenge you that if you watch this video, you take out a sheet of paper and write down what things you want in a friend. So often I feel like we do this for relationships and we're writing down like, oh, I want my person to be kind, I want them to be happy, and I want them to love God. But we don't hold our friends to that same standard. I would love to know what you would write, so comment down below what are some of the things you have on your list. Anyway, let me pray us out. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for waking us up this morning and starting us on our way. And Lord, I thank you for the viewer that is watching this video. And I pray, Lord, that we would be more intentional about the friends that we keep in our life, and that we wouldn't spend all of our energy trying to figure out what we want in a partner and then spend no time talking about what we want in a friend. And Lord, I know that you have the friends in our life and written down that we need to have. And so I pray that when the time is right, our paths would cross. But until then, you would prepare us for the friendships that we're going to have in this season and the next season. And I know, Lord, that there's some people who are watching this video who don't know who you are. But maybe after watching it, they're like, wow, I really want to know this Jesus person. And so I pray, Lord, that you would help them go to the description box below and pray the sinner's prayer, and that they would accept you into their heart. And I pray that you would just connect them with a good Bible-based church so that they can grow in you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. If you're watching this video and you have an opportunity to get my book, Since When Is Single Mean Sad, on a discount. The book is a 30-day guide packed with practical tips on how to survive your single season and thrive during your single season as a Christian when it's not the season that you chose. Many people have talked about this book and how it has changed their life, so make sure you grab your copy today before it sells out. Anyway, I love you to the moon and back, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.